Hey, it's RebelQueen. Okay, first off, I'm sorry if there's any little background noise. As you guys know, me and Albion live here in Texas, and we're pretty much in the middle of the Texas heat wave. So the AC unit in my room is on. So I'm sorry for that little background noise if you guys can hear it. So sorry about that. I know I'm a week late giving this review, but uh, this is for the movie In the Heights. It came out last week for in theaters and on basically HBO Max if you've got it. And some of you might be kind of going like, wait a minute, she likes musicals? As you guys pretty much know, basically grew up on the whole Disney spectrum of their animated movies, which, remember, those movies have a lot of singing in them, so it shouldn't be too surprising that I can sit down and watch a musical. That and also pretty much when it came to a lot of the field trips at elementary and, well, not a lot, there weren't really a lot of middle school field trips, but a lot of the elementary field trips, they would take us to go see, it was mainly musicals, so, production, so, there you go. But the movie was wonderful, so, for those of you who don't know, basically, the guy who originally wrote the Hamilton musical, he wrote the In the Heights theatrical movie musical, and as he kind of says, it's his love letter to that basically that area of New York. I'm sorry, even though I watched this last week, brain fart on the area of New York, and he actually does have he's not the star of the movie, but he does have a little spot in the movie. In fact, the guy who actually is the main character, and another person from Hamilton, he played George Washington in the musical, even though his part is very minor. They all were in Hamilton, so it's kind of like, oh, you guys had a little mini reunion. So again, the movie was wonderful, and kind of as the protagonist Usnavi, who was one of the main guys from Hamilton, the musical. He's kind of telling you the story of what all happened during this one time period in Brooklyn, and you're kind of thinking, and kind of what led him to where he is today. You're kind of thinking, oh, because his story is he got back his pop's place in the Dominican Republic, and he was going to fix it up and all that, and kind of how everything is set up. You're thinking, oh, he's there right now. But I'm not going to spoil it for you. But as it kind of goes through and he's telling the story of what all happened, it goes through and it's you see all this song and dance number, and I'm just going, oh, wow. But it was a good movie, and it just kind of makes you think we kind of do need, aside from the whole big Broadway and theater productions, we kind of actually do need more actual theatrical movie musicals, because I actually kind of think that is kind of a dying art here, because I kind of think aside from when they did the Hamilton special on Disney Plus, I kind of think the last actual movie musical I watched was like Phantom of the Opera. And I watched that, and I actually kind of originally went in watching that thinking, yeah, there's going to be some singing, but not as much singing as there was going to be, because I didn't realize it was actually a musical at the time. But I didn't regret watching it, because I'm like, it's Phantom of the Opera. Who is going to regret watching Phantom of the Opera if you know the story and all that? But going back to In the Heights, like I said, it was a good movie, and it had it covered like a whole bunch of different topics, especially kind of like going with people who, it's kind of hard to cover a lot of the stuff without, if you haven't watched it yet, because either you don't want to risk going into theaters, even though a lot of theaters are still following like COVID protocols, and even if you're vaccinated, you still just want to play it safe, especially considering we are getting reports of that one strain of the virus that was in India has apparently made its way here into the U.S. And apparently it is kind of proving a little, even if you are vaccinated, it is kind of proving to be a little difficult. So, which is understandable. So you're a little scared to do that, which is understandable. I mean, I've told you guys, I'm at home. I've got my parents who are in the danger category for the COVID stuff. So I'm kind of like, oh crap, which kind of makes me going, dang it. Come early July for a certain Marvel movie, which we're finally getting after it's been delayed for so long, but more on that later. But yeah, or you don't have access to HBO Max because you don't want to, because there's not a whole lot of movies that because you're not a big movie watcher enough to where you'd pay that monthly charge for the service. I'm not going into why we have HBO Max. Let's just say Dad has a coworker who lets us bum off their thing. So, but the movie was good, and them being able to choreograph and all that, it's like, it was wonderful, and the music was, and like I said, the music itself was wonderful too, along with all the different cast and crew. Like I said, so it's like we kind of need to actually have more theatrical movie musicals than we do the Broadway and stuff. Even though there are a few Broadway musicals that I'm kind of going, I really want to see that. Case in point, as you guys know from an earlier review I did, I like Beetlejuice. Apparently they did a Beetlejuice musical. Apparently before we had the whole COVID situation, there was plans, after it finished its Broadway run, there were plans for it to do a tour, and one of the cities it was supposed to come to was down here where me and Albion live, and I'm like, God dang it. Like, dang you, COVID. But yeah, so well, I'm not I'm not super big into musicals. I do kind of like have that. I do kind of like them to a certain extent. I mean, there are some that I kind of want to go. I kind of am like, I love that particular movie or series. I kind of am interested to see how the musical version of it would go. But kind of going back to In the Heights, like I said, that it was good, and I'm kind of going, and so if you enjoy musicals and all that, you will enjoy it. I'd say 9.5, because also at the time, kind of since it is a musical, it does run kind of long. So you do have to kind of sit there to be able to catch everything. So if you're not, so you if you can't if you can't sit if you're not the type of person who can sit there forever, kind of like when we had kind of referencing back to Marvel when we had to sit there for like the almost 3 hours for Endgame. You might find it a little difficult, but overall, I found it an enjoyable movie, and I know this review is kind of short, but it's kind of hard to really go into a lot of detail without giving away something for this movie, because they cover a lot of different topics and stuff in this movie that, even though it's a musical, you kind of don't want to go over this stuff and ruin it, because they do kind of go over a few things and stuff in it that you're kind of like, that kind of stuff is important. So anyway, I hope if you guys are interested, again, HBO Max, and if you want to if you want to pay that prescription rate, or maybe you have somebody who will let you bum off their account, or if you want to or if you feel good enough to actually go into a movie theater, go ahead. Because, like I said, it just came out this last week, so I know I'm about a week late on giving you a review for it, so I'm sorry about that. This is actually going to be one of 3 videos today, so prepare for more. Oh, and so there's going to be more coming. Bye.